Hi, how are you? Good. Are you ready for the personality test? Okay. Well, I thought that we could do it together. I have the questions pulled up here. And I'll let you give your answer first and then I'll give my answer. So it says, be yourself and answer honestly to find out your personality type. And then the options are strongly agree, agree, somewhat agree, neutral, somewhat disagree, disagree, strongly disagree. Okay, so you have those 7 options. So the first question is, or the first statement, you regularly make new friends. What do you think? Okay, cool. For me, you regularly make new friends. I'm gonna say somewhat agree. Somewhat agree. The next question. You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. Do you strongly agree, agree, somewhat agree, neutral, neither agree nor disagree, or somewhat disagree, disagree, strongly disagree? Okay, for me, I strongly agree. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. Yeah, I thought so. For me, strongly agree. You often make a backup plan for a backup plan. Do you strongly agree, agree, somewhat agree, neither agree nor disagree, somewhat disagree, disagree, strongly disagree? The statement is, you often make a backup plan for a backup plan. Okay, for me, I'll say, I think somewhat disagree. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. For me, I disagree. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. I'm not that good under pressure. At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. What do you think? Yeah, okay. I think at social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. I think I disagree. No, I agree. I don't know. I want to make new friends. I want to introduce myself to people, but actually, in reality, I probably don't introduce myself to anyone because I'm too shy. So I think I agree. At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. Yeah, I'll say that I agree. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. Do you agree or disagree? Yeah, I strongly disagree. I have the habit of starting too many things and not finishing a lot of things. You are very sentimental. Yeah, that's a bit of a difficult question. I don't really know. You are very sentimental. What do you think? For me, I'm not very sentimental with things. I don't have any problem throwing things away. I don't have a lot of sentimental value with things. But I guess with places, then I feel very sentimental, and certain songs or stuff like that. I guess I'll say somewhat agree. You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. What about you? Do you strongly agree, agree, somewhat agree, neither agree nor disagree, somewhat disagree, disagree, strongly disagree? Okay. I agree. I do like to use, I do like to make lists. And I do find that they help me, but I don't always. I'll say I somewhat agree. I'm trying not to put like neither agree nor disagree, because I feel like to get a more accurate like result. Anyway, maybe I should put that I neither agree nor disagree, because I forget that that's even an option. Okay, the next question. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Yeah, for me, I'm gonna say I agree. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. What do you think for you? For me, I'll say I disagree. This is like I was saying, that even though I do want to, I don't feel comfortable. I feel shy. You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analyses of creative works. You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analyses of creative works. For me, I'll say that I strongly disagree. I am interested in discussing that. You are more inclined to follow your head than your heart. For me, I'll say disagree. I'm more inclined to follow my heart. You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine. Yeah. Yeah, for me, if I don't plan a daily routine, then I guess not a daily routine, but I like to plan things to do, because otherwise then I feel like I waste my free time. So I'm gonna say that I disagree. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. Do you agree or disagree? That's cool. I disagree. Yeah, I disagree. I do worry about whether I make a good impression. You enjoy participating in group activities. I will say I agree. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. I have mixed feelings about this one. I don't know. I'm gonna say I disagree. I like to have a satisfying ending. I don't like it to be too open-ended. I'll disagree. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments. This is a hard one, I know. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments. Cool. I think if I'm going to be completely honest, then I'll have to say that I somewhat disagree. Because I also think that helping others accomplish things is an accomplishment for me, you know? I'll say somewhat disagree. You are interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. I strongly agree with this. I have a lot of hobbies and I have a lot of things that I want to try, and then I feel like overwhelmed with things. You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. I think I somewhat disagree. Generally in my life, I am not prone to worrying about that. You avoid leadership roles in group settings. I disagree. I'm happy to take a lead role in like a group or in a project or something like that. You are definitely not an artistic type of person. Do I somewhat disagree or disagree? I'm not artistic in like the sense of drawing or painting or like traditional art, but I do like crocheting, and I like paper crafts and making cards and things like that. I guess I'll say I disagree. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on feelings. Ooh, what do you think? I strongly disagree. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. I strongly agree. I struggle to relax if I have something something that I know I need to do. I would rather get it out of the way if I can. The next statement, you enjoy watching people argue. I disagree. It makes me very anxious to see people argue. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. I guess I will say I don't know. I'm thinking like in terms of like doing performances or stuff at school or like at gymnastics. You know, I used to do gymnastics, and I would definitely avoid competing or like being in a show because it made me anxious. But in general in my life, I don't know. I'm gonna say that I neither agree or disagree. Your mood can change very quickly. For me, your mood can change very quickly. I somewhat agree. Yeah. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you. Yeah. I think I disagree. I think also as I've like gotten a little bit older, then I'm definitely much more patient than I used to be. And I know there are some things which take me such a long time that other people can like learn or do very quickly. So yeah. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. I agree. Do I strongly agree? I strongly agree. You have always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. You have always been fascinated by the question. For me, I disagree. We're 50% done. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. I will say that I somewhat disagree, because although I am a sociable person and I do like spending time with people, I definitely need to recharge my batteries by myself. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. Yeah, you become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. I guess it depends on the topic and the kind of theory, but I think I disagree. I somewhat disagree. You find it easy to empathize with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. I think I agree. I generally find it fairly easy to empathize with people. You usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible. For me, I definitely disagree. Once I've made a decision, then I want it to be done and out there. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. I mean, I find myself wondering, like, what if, like the same as everyone, I guess, but really second guessing the choices that I've made. I think I somewhat agree. I rarely second guess the choices that I've made. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. For me, after a long and exhausting week, I disagree. If the week was exhausting, a lively social event is not what I need. You enjoy going to art museums. I somewhat agree. I agree. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. I disagree. You like to have a to-do list for each day. For me, when I do a to-do list, then I appreciate, when I make a to-do list, then I appreciate it and it helps me. But I don't make it every day. I guess I neither agree nor disagree. You rarely feel insecure. I disagree. You avoid making phone calls. I strongly disagree. I make a lot of phone calls. I like to talk to people on the phone. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. I think it's a really good thing to try to understand views that are different from your own, especially because I think we often surround ourselves with people who agree with us. So you think that everyone agrees with you because everyone that you talk to agrees with you. So I do think it is good to try to actually understand where other people are coming from. But whether I spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from my own, I don't. So I guess I'll somewhat disagree. Yeah. But I do try my best to be open-minded and to be open-minded in conversations with people with different views from mine. In your social circle, you are often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities. In my social circle, that is bold to assume I have a social circle. You are often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities. I will say that it depends on the social circle. I neither agree nor disagree. In some groups, then I would be more likely to initiate activities than other groups, you know. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. What do you think? Strongly agree, somewhat agree, neither agree nor disagree, somewhat disagree, strongly disagree. Okay. I somewhat disagree. It's actually something I've been working on recently to try to go with the flow with things a little bit more. You are still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. Yeah, I strongly agree. It's difficult to let go of things even though they don't matter anymore, and no one cares, no one else remembers. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Yeah, for me, I rarely contemplate. Yeah, I somewhat agree. I somewhat disagree. No, I somewhat agree. I rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Your emotions control you. This statement is, your emotions control you more than you control them. Yeah, this is a difficult question. Your emotions control you more than you control them. I mean, I think we're all made up of our emotions. I disagree. I somewhat disagree. I disagree. I'll say I disagree. Okay. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it is completely their fault. What do you think? For me, you take great care not to make people look bad, even when it is completely their fault. I somewhat disagree. I don't want to make anyone look bad or feel bad, but I don't think I take great care to avoid it. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. I disagree. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed in you. Oh my goodness, this is a very sad statement. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed in you. What do you think? I disagree. You would love to have a job that requires you to work online most of the time. Yeah. I would like to have a job that requires me to work online. See, I like working with people, you know, and I like interacting with people, but also the kind of flexibility and freedom that working online would give you. So I will say that I agree. I would like a job that requires me to work online most of the time. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. I disagree. I don't think it's a waste of time. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres than quiet, intimate places. Yeah, I feel more drawn to busy, bustling atmospheres. Yeah, I'll say that I agree. You know at first glance how someone is feeling. Yeah. I like to think that I'm good at reading people's emotions and telling how they're feeling. How good I actually am at it, I'm not sure. I'll say that I somewhat agree. Okay. We're 90% done. You often feel overwhelmed. Yeah, for me, I strongly agree. I do often feel overwhelmed, like in specific situations, like overwhelmed, like sensory wise, and also with life and responsibilities and school and work and stuff like that. So you complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. You complete things methodically. For me, yeah, I think I agree. I complete things methodically. I like to follow the rules. You are very intrigued by things labelled as controversial. I somewhat agree. I am intrigued by things that are controversial. Because I want to understand it and yeah. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. I'm going to say that I agree. I hope, I've never been in that situation, but I hope that I would. I like to think that I would, yeah. You struggle with deadlines. I agree. I struggle with deadlines a lot. You feel confident that things will work out for you. Okay. I feel confident that things will work out for you. Yeah, I somewhat agree. Okay. This is it. We're gonna get the results. Your personality, this is for me. Your personality type is advocate, INFJ-T. It says, I am 52% introverted and 48% extroverted. I think that is true for me. That rings true. I do feel like when people ask if I'm more introverted or extroverted, then I do feel like I'm quite in the middle. Because I do like to be in social situations, but I do definitely need my alone time also. Energy. This trait shows where we direct our mental energy. 58% intuitive, 42% observant. I'm not really sure what that means, like in a practical sense. Nature. This trait determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions. 73% feeling, 27% thinking. Tactics. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. 53% judging, 47% prospecting. I'm not really sure what that means either. Identity. This trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions. 61% turbulent, 39% assertive. Oh, I can start reading and they'll give me more information. Okay. It's gonna be really long. Okay, let me read. It says, advocates generally strive to do what's right, and they want to help create a world where others do the right thing as well. People with this personality type may feel called to use their strengths, including creativity, imagination, and sensitivity, to uplift others and spread compassion. Concepts like egalitarianism and karma can mean a great deal to advocates. Advocates may see helping others as their purpose in life. They are troubled by injustice, and they typically care more about altruism than personal gain. As a result, advocates tend to step in when they see someone facing unfairness or hardship. Many people with this personality type also aspire to fix society's deeper problems in the hope that unfairness and hardship can become things of the past. It's interesting that most of the percentages for me were close, like 43, 57. So I wonder if I did this test again on another day, I wonder how likely I would be to get the same results, Do you want me to read it all? Okay, I'll read it all. You can just close your eyes if you'd like. Connecting with others and themselves. Advocates may be reserved, but they communicate in a way that is warm and sensitive. This emotional honesty and insight can make a powerful impression on the people around them. Advocates value deep, authentic relations with others, and they tend to take great care with other people's feelings. That said, these personalities also need to prioritize reconnecting with themselves. Advocates need to take some time alone now and then to decompress, recharge, and process their thoughts and feelings. I guess that rings true for me. At times, advocates may focus so intently on their ideals that they don't take care of themselves. Advocates may feel that they aren't allowed to rest until they've achieved their unique vision of success, but this mindset can lead to stress and burnout. If this happens, people with this personality type may find themselves feeling uncharacteristically ill-tempered. Advocates might find themselves feeling especially stressed in the face of conflict and criticism. These personalities tend to act with the best of intentions, and it can frustrate them when others don't appreciate this. At times, even constructive criticism may feel deeply personal or hurtful to advocates. I think learning how to accept constructive criticism is something that's been very important for me in my life, and it's something that I'm still working on. But a personal mission. Many advocates feel compelled to find a mission for their lives. When they encounter inequality and unfairness, they tend to think, how can I fix this? They are well suited to support a movement to right a wrong, no matter how big or small. Advocates just need to remember that while they're busy taking care of the world, they need to take care of themselves too. Let's read strengths and weaknesses, shall we? Strengths and weaknesses. Strengths: creative, insightful, principled, passionate, altruistic. Weaknesses: sensitive to criticism, reluctant to open up, perfectionistic, avoiding the ordinary, prone to burnout. I'm reading about avoiding the ordinary. Avoiding the ordinary, it says advocate personalities tend to be motivated by a sense of having a greater purpose in life. They might consider it tedious or unnecessary to break their big visions into small, manageable steps, but they may be setting themselves up for frustration if they don't turn their dreams into everyday routines and to-do lists. Without these specifics, their goals may never materialize. Let's read friendships. Advocates have a deep desire for authenticity and sincerity in everything they do, from their daily activities to their relationships. As a result, people with this personality type rarely settle for friendships of convenience. Rather than rely on superficial interactions with the people they see every day at school or work, they generally prefer to have a close circle of confidants. Anyway. Advocates tend to lighten up around friends who share their passions, interests, and beliefs. Few things give these personalities more pleasure than connecting with others over discussions about meaningful ideas and philosophies. I don't think that's particularly true for me. I mean, although I do enjoy, I wouldn't say that few things give me more pleasure than discussing meaningful ideas and philosophies. As much as I enjoy talking about abstract things like philosophies, I would prefer like tangible things. Once advocates know they can trust someone completely, they find it incredibly fulfilling to share their innermost thoughts, ideas, and feelings with them. Let's see if there's anything else on here Let's look at career paths, shall we? Career paths. Advocates tend to seek a career path that aligns with their values rather than one that offers status and material gain. Fortunately, people with this personality type are able to find work that suits them in just about any field. In fact, many advocates have trouble deciding which job is best for them because they're able to imagine so many possibilities. These personalities may see 10 wildly different paths forward, each with its own set of rewards. This can be exciting but also stress-inducing because picking just one means letting go of so many others. I relate to that. Advocates want to find meaning in their work and want to know that they are helping or connecting with people. This desire to help and connect can make roles as counselors, psychologists, teachers, social workers, yoga instructors, and spiritual leaders very rewarding for advocates. Careers in healthcare, especially the more holistic varieties, can also be attractive options for this personality type. Many advocates are also strong communicators. This explains why they are often drawn to careers in writing, authoring many popular books, blogs, stories, and screenplays. Music, photography, design, and art can all be viable options as well, allowing advocates to focus on deeper themes of personal growth and purpose. I won't read any more because there's a lot more. There's workplace habits. Let's read the conclusion. I'll read the conclusion. Okay, the conclusion. Few personality types are as passionate and enigmatic as advocates. As someone with this personality type, you stand out for your imagination, your compassion, your integrity, and your deeply held principles. Unlike many other idealistic types, however, you are also capable of turning your ideals into plans and executing them. Yet advocates face challenges too. Even the most idealistic and dedicated type of personality types Even the most idealistic and dedicated of personality types can become frustrated when it comes to navigating interpersonal conflicts, confronting unpleasant facts, pursuing self-realization, or finding a fulfilling career path. As a result, you may sometimes find yourself questioning who you really are and who you're really meant to be. And then it tells me a bit more if I want to know more about it. What do you think? Do you think it's accurate? I guess a lot of it rings true, but it's also very vague, you know? I'm not sure how accurate it is for me. But like I said, it's also interesting that most of the percentages were quite close, like 45 and 55%, so maybe it's, maybe that's why I don't feel like I so strongly connect to it. Anyway, thank you for sitting with me, and thank you for doing this personality test with me. And I'll see you later, okay?